I am a mindset and embodiment coach. Work a lot with embodiment practices, which really just means reconnecting to your body and feeling safe in your body again. And I'm also an energy healer. And I tend to work with either women who are stuck in some portion of their lives. Usually they're in a state of transformation of some kind. It's usually midlife women and beyond, and help them navigate through that and reconnect to their own truth again and who they really are and what they want. And secondly, I work with a lot of women who are essentially healers or light workers or spiritual seekers who are reconnecting to their why on a very deep level and are wanting to really engage with their purpose, and they feel a calling and a drawing, a feeling of pulling forward to be more and do more without necessarily always knowing what that is. So those are essentially the two kinds of women, and often they overlap, who I mainly work with.
You speak about moving from effort into embodiment. What does that actually mean in practice? And why do so many women feel stuck in striving?
Yeah, that's an important question. So many of us have literally been conditioned and trained that you have to be efforting to achieve things and forcing things and making things happen, that whole hamster wheel vibe. And many really capable women and people in general they look like they've got it all together on the outside, and they kind of do, and they're doing all the things. But inside, they're often feeling very disconnected and exhausted. Because if you're just striving and pushing all the time and you've disconnected from your why, there comes a time where it feels unsustainable. And that's also where burnout and things like that come in, but it's exhausting. So changing that and taking that into an embodied space, it's dropping back into your body, really listening in, finding your why, and then operating from that space rather than just the striving and the pushing so it's a very, very different energy.
That sounds awesome. Many women are highly self-aware intellectually, but still feel disconnected from themselves emotionally or physically. Why is embodiment such an important part of transformation?
Yeah, because if it's just in your head, it's not really going to be transformation. There's many people just stuck in their heads or trying to do things from a mind, for the perspective of the mind or cognitive level. And you can understand something, but that doesn't really bring transformation. Transformation is a whole full body, mind and body experience. So, for instance, if you have the thought, I am worthy, but that's just a thought, and your body is going like contracting, that's not really gonna change anything. Whereas if you have this embodied knowing, this feeling in your body, I am safe to receive, I'm safe to express my true self, and I'm worthy, that's a whole different energy. So the embodiment piece is actually the key piece that makes it real, because you need to connect mind and body.
You teach that manifestation is connected to your nervous system regulation and subconscious alignment. Can you explain how our internal state shapes what we experience externally?
Yeah, sure. Um, Manifestation involves again, a whole body, physicality, your mind, your emotions, your actions, your whole beingness, what you are emanating to the field. So often previously, the early versions of manifestation were very much mind-based and sometimes bringing in your emotion and envisioning. Like, here's your vision board, and this is what I really want, but it still puts that thing over there. Whereas the embodiment process is such a key piece of manifestation because we're first creating the safety and being able to actually hold that vision that we're trying to manifest. If you trying to manifest something which doesn't feel safe and which you can't hold, it's either going to come and leave or it's not going to come in the first place. So it's creating that landing place energetically, feeling safe to hold it, and using your entire beingness to send that energy of what you're manifesting into the field.
Wow. One part of your framework is reconnection. What does that mean to reconnect with yourself? And why do you think so many people, so many women, sorry, lose touch with their own inner knowing?
Well, we're all people, women are people too, so it's all good. Um, yeah, the reconnection is so important. Again, a lot of women have kind of been taught to externally reference, or they've just been externally referencing for a long time. So reaching outside themselves for validation or for confirmation or for some kind of permission, whereas reconnecting with your own inner wisdom and self and rediscovering who are you anyway and what do you really like for you, and being okay with that, not needing to externally reference that or validate that. And it's reconnecting to both your body and to your intuition, your higher self, that you can really connect into your true self, your true essence of who you are, rather than reaching outwards. Was there a second piece to that question? Did I miss something?
No, that was it.
Okay, cool.
You often speak about creating from coherence rather than force. How how can women tell the difference between aligned action and action that's coming from fear, pressure, or survival patterns?
It feels very different in the body. So when we're operating from force or I've got to do this thing or I must do this, it's literally the body feels contracted. And there's often this like fake urgency around it. Sometimes, I mean, in the 3D world, there's sometimes real urgency around something, but there's also this pressure, and it feels like we're operating from fear or pressure. We can feel that in the body. Whereas when you're taking aligned action, it's calm, it's centered, it comes from a different place. So if you first aligned and connected to your own truth and your own wisdom, and then you're taking that action, it feels joyous and it feels calm and it feels unpressured. And so, yeah, it's very much a different energy around it. It's the best I can explain it.
Your work weaves together consciousness, embodiment, energy, and psychology. How do you personally define consciousness, and why do you think it matters in how we live and create our reality?
Yeah, that's a big question. Um, I think also the moment we try and define consciousness, we've already lost it. It's not really that definable. But having said that, to me, it's very much it's your awareness and your relationships. So with yourself and with others. But your awareness, it's who are you beyond your thoughts and beyond your mind, like your true self, and how are you showing up in the world? Are you doing that with consciousness and with presence? And how are you interpreting things? What are you thinking about how you're acting and how you're treating others? And actually bringing conscious thought to that rather than just living in reactive patterns. So often we can get stuck in just reacting to things and living from a place of unconsciousness. So it's really just bringing more awareness to all the parts of your life and then operating from that space.
What role does safety play in expansion? And why do you believe nervous system work is essential for its sustainable growth and manifestation?
Yeah, it's safety first before expansion. It's we've got our human and our divine, and we first need to feel safe in our bodies in order to hold what we're trying to bring in. So the safety, it's so, so important to first regulate and first know that actually this is okay. In this moment, I'm safe, and it's safe to expand and to bring in what I want to bring in, what I desire, and I can hold that desire. So it's always safety first, and then you can have the expansion.
Um, Jenny, for someone listening who feels overwhelmed, disconnected, or stuck in old patterns, what's one small shift they can begin making today to move toward a more aligned and embodied life?
Yeah, just stop, breathe, slow down. We're rushing. We're rushing through our lives. Stop and take a moment. Pay more attention to the breath and pay more attention to what your body is telling you, to the signals from the body. And you can start small. You can just feel into your feet, feel into your hands. Take a conscious breath. Feel the air going in, feel the air going out. Bring these small moments of awareness. It's not this whole huge thing that we now have to do. It happens in the small moments, step by step. So, yeah, start small. Start with the breath. Start with slowing down and deeply listening to firstly your body and then your own intuition, what is coming in for you, and not second guessing that.
Jenny, this was so informative, and I learned so much about you and your program, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Darlie.